Well, today, the Russian government newspaper Rossiyskaya Gazeta has an interview with Alexander Sladkov, a well-known voyenkour, military correspondent on Russian state television. I'll tell you what caught my eye here. So Sladkov is asked, how did you feel when we started the special military operation? In other words, when Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The reporter replies, at first I was scared. This wasn't my first war, and I expected major fallout. So, right from the start, he openly uses the word war to describe what is happening in Ukraine. For so long, the Russian authorities avoided using that word in relation to this conflict. Officially, they still refer to Russia's invasion as the special military operation. But when you talk to Russians about the fighting, most people now use the word war in conversation because a war is what they see in the TV news bulletins here. They see tanks, artillery, shelling, they see front lines. And here we have a state TV reporter in the government newspaper openly calling it a war. Izvestia today reports on the normalization of relations between Moscow and Washington since Donald Trump's return to the White House. A political scientist tells the paper that America now has more in common with Russia than Washington does with Brussels or with Kyiv. Komsomolskaya Pravda reports that Russia-US talks will continue on Monday in Riyadh. Representing Russia, Grigory Karasin, a former deputy foreign minister and now head of the International Affairs Committee of the upper house of the Russian parliament, and Sergei Besieda, described here as an advisor to the director of the FSB. And finally, this odd story in Moskovsky Komsomolets calls for a ban in Russia on Turkish TV dramas. The public movement, Veterans of Russia, has approached the Duma, Russia's state communications watchdog, and the Ministry of Culture with its initiative for a ban, explaining Turkish drama series make Russian women less interested in Russian men and destroy the institution of the family and thus the birth rate. The paper quotes an irate 26-year-old Muscovite, Yana, saying they probably want to ban these dramas so that Russian women don't see the role they could play in a man's life, unlike in Russian drama series, where you see gangsters humiliating women and then those poor suffering women chasing after those men and seeking their attention.